Your pain is real, validating the invisible scars. If you've experienced abuse, your feelings are valid. The pain you carry is real, even if the scars aren't visible. Abuse leaves its mark on the very structure of your brain. Understanding how trauma affects the brain can help us heal and find hope. We often talk about the emotional impact of abuse, but it's crucial to understand the biological changes too. Trauma impacts the way our brains function, leading to a range of challenges. These challenges are not signs of weakness. They are the brain's natural response to overwhelming stress. By understanding these changes, we can better support survivors. We can move away from judgment and towards compassion. Your experiences matter, and your healing journey is important. Trauma's grip: how abuse changes the brain. Trauma, especially prolonged abuse, can significantly alter our brain's structure and function. This is because the brain is constantly adapting to our experiences. When we experience something repeatedly like abuse, our brain strengthens the pathways associated with that experience. This process is meant to protect us from danger. However, in the case of trauma, it can lead to a state of constant vigilance and fear, even when we are safe. Our brain becomes wired for survival, making it difficult to relax, trust others, and engage in everyday life. The good news is that the brain is also capable of remarkable healing and change. By understanding how trauma has impacted our brain, we can begin to rewire these pathways and build new, healthier ones. Fight, flight, or freeze. The amygdala's alarm system. Two key areas of the brain are significantly impacted by trauma: the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. The amygdala acts as our brain's alarm system, responsible for detecting threats and triggering our fight, flight, or freeze response. Trauma can make the amygdala overactive, causing it to perceive threats even in safe situations. This can lead to constant feelings of anxiety, fear, and hypervigilance. Imagine your alarm system constantly going off, even when there's no real danger. This is what many survivors experience daily. This overactive amygdala can also lead to exaggerated responses to minor stressors. A sudden noise, a raised voice, or even a specific smell can trigger an intense fear response. This is because the brain has learned to associate these seemingly harmless stimuli with danger. Section 4. Fragmented memories. Trauma's impact on learning. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking, decision-making, and regulating emotions, is also affected by trauma. Under chronic stress, the prefrontal cortex can become less active, making it difficult to think clearly, control impulses, and manage emotions effectively. This imbalance between the amygdala and prefrontal cortex can lead to a range of challenges. It can contribute to difficulty concentrating, learning new information, and forming coherent memories. This is why survivors of abuse often struggle with fragmented memories or have difficulty recalling specific details of traumatic events. The good news is that with therapy and support, we can strengthen our prefrontal cortex and regain control over our emotional responses. By learning to regulate our emotions and calm our amygdala, we can begin to process traumatic memories and reduce their impact on our lives. Section 5. The struggle to feel emotional numbing and outbursts. Trauma can make it difficult to regulate emotions. Some survivors experience emotional numbing, feeling disconnected from their feelings or experiencing a limited range of emotions. This numbing serves as a coping mechanism, protecting them from overwhelming pain. Others experience the opposite: intense emotional outbursts, anger, or irritability. These sudden shifts in emotional states can be confusing and frightening, both for the survivor and those around them. It's important to remember that these outbursts are not intentional. They are the brain's way of trying to cope with overwhelming stress. Therapy can help survivors understand and manage these emotional fluctuations. By learning to identify their triggers and develop healthy coping mechanisms, they can regain a sense of control over their emotional landscape. Section 6. Seeking control, impulsivity, and decision-making. Trauma can also affect decision-making and impulse control. The weakened connection between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala makes it challenging to think clearly and make rational choices, especially in stressful situations. This can lead to impulsive behaviors, difficulty assessing risks, and engaging in activities that provide a temporary sense of relief, but may be harmful in the long run. These behaviors are not about seeking pleasure, but about seeking control in a world that feels chaotic and unsafe. Therapy can provide survivors with the tools and support needed to make healthier choices. By understanding the root of these impulsive behaviors, they can develop coping mechanisms and build healthier patterns in their lives.